Hello everyone. During this lesson, we will explore the topic of sets in the Python language, including set and Frozenset. Sets are essentially the same as lists, except that in sets, all elements are unordered, and there are no duplicate elements. Why might sets be useful? Let's say we want to obtain specific data from a user. Suppose it's a string where all of their hobbies are fully listed. Next, we can split this string using a certain character, and then I would like to remove all duplicate elements from the resulting list. Sets are convenient for this purpose. Now let's get down to business. There are two ways to create a set. Firstly, you can use the set function, typically passing in specific words, and then we'll try to display it on the screen. We'll get here only 4 elements, that is, the duplicate symbol has been removed, and you can also notice that all elements are arranged in random order. This method is usually used when we need to quickly convert some list into a set, but if we need to create a set from scratch, we usually don't use the set function, but simply curly braces. Yes, I can agree that we used curly braces in the previous lesson to create dictionaries. But the point here is that if we put both keys and values in curly braces, then we will always create a dictionary. And if we only use values, as I'm writing now, then in this case, we create sets. And you can notice that I added 2 duplicate elements here, and if we run it now, we'll notice that they all come in random order and one number 5 has been removed. Working with sets here is exactly the same as working with regular lists. The only difference is that in a set, you cannot access a specific index or change it, because if we try to do so, we will always get an error. At the same time, we can always delete and add new elements. If we need to add a new element, we use the add function, and in parentheses, we specify any number. Here, my number has been added. If I need to add several numbers at once, we can use the update function, and here let me also add other data types. It will work the same way here. And if we run it, we will see that new elements have been added. Also, if you need to delete a certain element, you can use the remove function. Inside, we simply specify the value of the element. Suppose I want to remove the value true. And if we run this, you will notice that such an element no longer exists. Also, if you need to remove the very first element, you can use the pop method. If we run it, we'll see that this value no longer exists. And if you want to completely clear the entire set, you can use a function like clear. And as you can see, the set is now empty and there are no elements in it. Also, let's consider a scenario where we have a list that contains duplicate elements. Our task is to remove all duplicate elements from this list. To implement this, we can directly place a new value into this list. Here, I'll simply call the set function and place the list nums into it. And if we run this now, we will see that we no longer have a list but rather a set, which consists only of 3 unique elements. And finally, the last thing we'll cover today is Frozenset. Essentially, Frozenset is a combination of a tuple and a set. In fact, we create a regular set, but the only difference is that we won't be able to change the elements inside it in any way. To create a Frozenset, we can do the following. Let's create a new value, and here we simply use the Frozenset function, and we need to add some list to it. And for this, we open square brackets and pass any values here. And if we try to output all of this to the screen, we will notice that the properties available for sets will be applied, meaning all elements are now shuffled, and there are no duplicate values. At the same time, if I try to access this new data and try to access the function that allows adding new values, and if I try to add something, of course, an error will be triggered because tuple properties are already applied here. And in tuples, as we remember, we cannot change anything. It turns out that thanks to set and Frozenset, we can create different sets where there are no duplicate elements, and they will all be in random order. Well, that's all I have for now. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on new lessons. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, goodbye.